Morning, everybody. As you can see, we're completely live. I thought we were going racing then. Welcome to our live studio show here on MXGPTV.com. It's round 12 of the FIA Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Spain, a brand new venue here, Molinos. And our guests today, Ben Watson, we've got Dylan Walsh coming in, and Natalie Fase, course team manager from F&H Kawasaki. But before we meet the guests, Lisa.
Morning,
welcome
Paul.
to Spain. It's almost like a home GP for you.
It is a home GP, isn't it?
You are 6 hours away.
Yeah, I'm quite far. But you enjoying the nice Spanish weather?
I'm liking the Spanish
nice,
weather.
Isn't it?
A bit better to the weather we have in
Don't
Belgium.
get used to it, because in another few days it's going to be the opposite, I've heard. So.
I know. And this guy's going back there as well.
Yeah.
So let's meet him. Ben Watson, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MX2. Welcome to our studio show. Currently 7th in points. I mean, if you could describe your season in one word, could you? What word would you say?
I mean, not really one word, but it's been very up and down.
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning, I had the small injury from Sardinia, and I missed a bit of bike time before the first races, and then Natalie really didn't go good for me, and I'd also one bike issue, and then I came through, and then towards Latvia I started feeling better on the bike, and then again I had another mechanical, and I lost another race with no points. So then in Faenza I had the crash on the first lap and broke the bike myself. So I've had 3 races with no points, and when you're going for a championship, it's makes it really difficult. So
well, going back to Natalie, I mean, how much did that crash pre-season, literally just a week or so before that first GP, kind of hamper your serious title threat, if you like? Yeah,
a lot, because during the pre-season in Sardinia I was feeling by far the best I ever have on the bike, and I was really confident going into the season. Sardinia, the pre-season race went really good, and then we was training just the Tuesday after, and just broke the same bone in my hand what I did in the end of the season before, and it wasn't a big injury, and I rode again, I think it was 3 weeks after. So again, I'm not missing a lot of bike time, but it's just something that sets you back a little bit.
Well, I think you touched upon it then, but when MXGP returned to Latvia, you did actually look like you were back to 100%. You got that 3rd in race 1 in Kegums. Just tell us, how much of a relief was that for you to get that top 3 race finish?
I mean, it was not really a relief, but it's just more where I belong and where I should be. And the good thing is we went on the day before, and we was working a lot with the starts, because that's what we were struggling with. And as you see this year, everything is so tight, and the start is really crucial. So we did a lot of work with the team in Yamaha, and we definitely made progress with that.
Yeah, well, then obviously from Latvia we moved to the hard pack of Faenza. Would it be fair to say that perhaps you didn't have a good relationship with that track?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I went there for a pre-season race just to have a look at the track, and it was my worst nightmare. I hated every minute of it. And then when I got to Faenza for the GP, they prepared the track a lot better. And I did actually enjoy it at times, but it's just not what I've grown up riding and what I'm really used to. So it takes a lot for me to get into those tracks. It's not coming really natural for me. But in the end, I feel like I did a good job there. I mean, I did miss 1 race with the crash, and I did some solid points in the end.
Well, Mantova, on the other hand, seemed a lot more enjoyable back on the box, Lombardia, and that was, the first time since Lommel, so a long time between drinks, my friend.
Yeah, it's like always been about a year between, but Mantova, the track I really enjoyed. The only thing that was a little bit strange was everything was just so close. Everyone was, like 0.1, 0.2 in qualifying, and it was really hard to make a difference, but...
Whole shot?
Yeah, 3rd one, so that was a real bonus, and makes life a lot easier. But it was just, I really enjoyed the track there, and it helps a lot when you feel good with the bike and where you're riding.
Talking to some riders actually, just between the 3 races, like the first one, everybody goes there, brand new track, and then they do the second one, the 3rd one back to back. It's almost like people have watched the race on replay. All of a sudden they know where the lines are and where to go fast and how to do things differently. Is that what you kind of found as well? Is that frustrating about the triple headers?
It is frustrating, and it's not, because if you go to the first race and you're not feeling good and you're struggling, then it's a benefit for you that you can look and learn and be better for the next races. But if you're the guy that bonds quickly with the track and you've spent a little bit more time studying maybe, then it can be a little bit annoying if you can go the next one and follow everybody.
Came close to a race win here. Jed just nipped you. Did you know that if you passed him, you'd win the GP? during the race?
No. But I mean, everyone says, did you know? Would it make a difference? But I mean, I'm racing to my maximum anyway, and if I could pass him, I would have passed him.
Sure.
A race wins, just as big for me as anything. So, no, I did what I could, and just to get back on the box was a really nice feeling.
Obviously, Lommel in a week's time, next week, because there's no break now until the end of the season. And if it continues to rain up there, as it has been the last few days, it's going to be quite an interesting Grand Prix. It's not going to be easy, is it? Because that place, when it's wet, almost turns to concrete in some places. The ruts get quite hard.
Yeah, it's going to be strange. I've just come back from Belgium and it was raining every day. And we're going to be mid-October, so of course it's normal. The weather's going to be wet and damp and not necessarily cold, but just wet. The track does get very heavy, and I think it doesn't hold the water like it did a few years ago. I think last year they put some new sand on, and it is sometimes hard underneath. So we'll see. I think whatever, it's going to be a technical race.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. And well, next year, big year for you. You move up to MXGP. Are you looking forward to that new challenge?
Yeah, really, really looking forward to it. I've really enjoyed, racing the 250, and of course I've still got, the half of the season to go, and I want to focus fully on that and try to end on a positive note and, see it out good. But definitely really looking forward to getting on the 450.
Would you say perhaps even if there was no age limit in MX2, you'd probably move up anyway due to your height and your weight?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely move up early, and I think you see with my brother Nathan, he also did it when he was with Ice One, and he had a good opportunity and he took the 450 well, and he moved up. I think he was around 20 when he went on a 450. So it's different for everybody, but I think now it's my time to go up.
Good lad. Before we go, brand new venue here. Have you had much chance to look around? How first impressions on the dirt and the actual layout of the track itself?
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, the dirt, everyone said, we're coming and it's going to be on a car park, and it's really, really not. It's on a natural hill, and they've just ripped into the ground, and it looks really nice. The soil it's perfect dirt, and they've put some real nice jumps in, so I think it's going to be some good racing. Sure.
And just finally, like I said, it's probably the toughest running that we've had in MXGP since forever. And we were in a period of 11 races in 7 weeks or something. How do you find? Will you be doing anything different between now and the end of the season? Obviously, we just had a triple header in Mantova. We've got this one, triple header in Belgium, and then a triple header in Trentino, all within the space of a month. Doing anything? Does it change your training program at all?
Not really changes the training program, but I think it's more, during the midweek races, it's more focused on recovery. At the end of the day, you can't go. Now it's too late to go training hard and trying to be better, because you're in the thick of it, and there's so many races. There's just not enough time in between to try and go training hard riding in the week. So I'm just focused more on the recovery now, and you need to believe in your riding abilities to just go to the race and feel confident.
All right, well, look, Ben Watson, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MX2, thanks for joining us. All the best
you.
Today or tomorrow and the rest of the season, the next, 6 rounds in the next month. We'll be back in a moment with Dylan Walsh, but before we do, here's highlights from MX2 Race 2 from last week in Mantova, MXGP of Europe. Watson down the inside. Van der Moosdijk getting past on the first lap. Geertz is going to be up the inside. Nicely done. He stays low, comes up short though, but he does go through in the third. There's going to be a retaliation pass from here. Cuts back to the inside, Roman van der Moosdijk. Just a little too tight perhaps. And Vial going down the inside of Watson. Could be bars banging here. Well, Watson just let him have that one in the end. And Jago Geertz this time down the inside of Watson. In the same way that Vial made a move past the 919 a lap ago. Trying to get creative, Jago Geertz. He's been in around the outside a couple of times.
Cuts back to the inside. Will he try it again at the top of the hill? Sets himself up. Vial knows he's there. Look, slows the pace right down. And Geertz has to go. He does. And the most like all of a sudden looks a little bit nervous. Leaves the door open. Gets the distance. Just about stays ahead. But Olsen lunges down the inside. Takes over fourth. That's going to put him on the podium. Geertz will take the win. Jago Geertz, your overall winner. He goes 2-1. Vial 1-2. Olsen on the podium for the third time. Championship remains at 46 points between Vial and Geertz.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our live studio show here on MXGPTV.com, and of course we're live on Facebook as well, don't forget that. We're back with part 2, and our second guest is in, Dylan Walsh, JM Honda Racing, and good to see him back in the paddock actually. Dylan, welcome to our studio show. As I just said, good to see you back in the MXGP paddock. Just briefly, how did the deal come about? Because I know you were set to ride in England before you took this deal.
Yeah, I was actually in California at the time. And yeah, Revo and MSR called me up to come race the British Championship, so I took the opportunity and I did one race, and then one of the riders at JM retired, and yeah, Jackie called me and asked if I'd like to fill in for the rest of the year, and yeah, I just jumped at that opportunity and yeah, took it.
Good.
Well, your first GP with Jackie was actually the final round of our triple header in Latvia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not an easy thing to do because you're on the back foot and I mean, playing catch-up, I guess, weren't you?
Yeah, it was actually really hard because I had never rode the bike also.
Right.
So I jumped in the deep end. The MXGP class is pretty crazy right now also, but yeah, it was good. Like I liked it, but yeah, it was quite hard.
Well, how much racing or riding did you do before Latvia, before you came back?
When I was in California, I was just on a borrowed bike, like yeah, just a stock like 2017 bike with not suspension done. I was just riding and just having fun and trying to find an opportunity there. So I was riding, but it wasn't proper riding. I've not had a proper winter. Yeah, I've not had a pre-season on a 450, so everything's been quite difficult. But it's getting better each ride.
Yeah, and obviously that was the point I guess we were making with being on the back foot. These guys had already been racing 2 rounds Latvia back to back. They'd done some pre-season races again before the reboot, and obviously you didn't have any of that. So, whoa, you know, rabbit in the headlight stuff. But let's talk about last week. Mantova 3, MXGP of Europe. You found yourself leading MXGP race 1. You led for 4 laps. What did you think when you came up over the hill and saw Prado and Febvre just kind of bumped into each other, and all of a sudden you've taken over the lead? What went through your mind at that point as soon as you were leading that race?
Yeah, I was just like, I seen Prado make the mistake and then Febvre run into the back of him, and I was like, oh, here we go. Yeah. So then I was like, oh, let's just try do what I can do. And I did 1 lap, and I was like, oh, let's go for 2. Come round 2, I was like, oh, let's go for 3. And then 4 came in, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then, no, I made a little mistake, and Tim got me, and then it was crazy. I wasn't really breathing at all. I was way too excited, and I forgot to adjust my clutch and whatnot, fried my bike, but it was a good experience.
And actually, we've got coming up here in a moment, sort of halfway around this lap, you out-scrubbed the scrubber. And we caught it on film over on the backside of the circuit. I was like, he didn't just do that, did he? And actually talking to Jed, because you were Jed Beaton yesterday, and he saw it, was like, oh, he didn't just do that, did he? And it's coming up in a moment, 2 corners from now. I mean, it was absolutely sick, you know, just to watch it was like, I am enjoying my time up front.
Yeah, well, you know, I've got to do stuff like that, you know, keep it interesting, but...
There you go.
Yeah, just had to keep the show going.
How long did it take you to breathe after the race?
Oh, actually, well, my bike stopped, so I ended up pushing it back, which made it twice as hard. But once I got there, I was pretty disappointed, but also, yeah, stoked. Like, not many people get to do it, but yeah. I've
got a can of oxygen in there if you want it.
Oh, hopefully. I breathe tomorrow, and it's kind of similar situation, but I breathe, so I'll let you know if I need it or not.
No worries. Obviously, we've got another moment coming up here. Obviously, Tim tried to outmuscle you going past the pit lane area. You weren't going to let him have it, were you?
Oh, you know, I'm not just going to push over. I keep it interesting, but no, it was good. Really good.
Yeah, and I guess Jackie must have been pleased with the performance.
Yeah, they're stoked. They've had a lot of bad luck this year, so it's also good to give them something that motivates them and shows the hard work they've put in.
Could you see him at this point?
Yeah, I've seen him coming in the corner of my eye, but you can't really go around the outside of someone, so...
Especially not a Kiwi.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, we'll let Dylan get his breath back for now. But we've got some information for you about our mid-season promo. So it's really pretty cool. Don't forget, you can still purchase the full package for the reduced price of just $59.99. And for that, you will get the whole MXGP season up until now, plus the remaining rounds live or on demand. So all you need to do is go to mxgptv.com and click on this graphic that you see on the homepage for more information. So that's pretty cool. You get the European rounds in there, the women as well. You got the full package going on.
Studio show, behind the gate, everything.
You got everything.
Anyway, look, we've got a couple of minutes left. Dylan, brand new track here this week in Spain. What do you like at learning new tracks off the bat? It's going to be the same for everybody, but what about you? Pretty quick to learn?
Yeah, I think I should be pretty good, and it looks like a track that I'd enjoy, so it was a lot better than I expected. Also, it looks really nice, and everything's set up here good, so I'm excited for it.
Okay, well, what are your goals for the rest of the season? And, I mean, have you thought about next year? Will we see you back in MXGP? Have you got any plans yet?
Yeah, the plan is to try stick something for next year to race MXGPs. I really like the 450 and the GPs, but I've just got to keep getting good starts and try run it up front as much as I can, and prove myself to a team that they want to take the chance. And I'm only young, I'm 22, so I've got a lot of years to learn, and hopefully get something good for next year.
Okay.
How have you found the one-day formats, actually? When you arrived in Latvia, you just joined in for the final round of that triple header, just one day in and out. Then you did Faenza, 3 rounds. How did you find that triple header on hardpack and then the one in Mantova?
I actually really like it, because when we get there on the Friday, I'm super excited for the Saturday, and the Saturday doesn't actually mean so much. So I'm already super excited. But so now it's just Sunday. I get there, Saturday I get all ready to go, and then it's just a bam, one day, I give everything I got, and that's it. I go home either happy or not so happy, but it's good.
Do you think everyone's in that same position as well? Everything's on the line for one day, so the level has kind of crept up? I know it's your first year in MXGP, but do you kind of feel? Yeah,
and I feel also at the start that no one knew when the end race was because of the pandemic, so every single round has been all or nothing, and it shows with injuries and the speed. Everyone's on the limit, which is it's good for the sport and the TV.
Yeah. Well, look, we are out of time with you. All the best for the rest of the season. Obviously, we go to Lommel next week, the team's local track. You can watch out of the apartment window there.
Exactly.
It's going to be wet, though, isn't it?
It's going to be real wet.
But it should be okay. I mean, we've got great track crews. They'll be prepping it and doing it and whatever, but we'll be there in a week's time. And all the best there, all the best here, and for the rest of the season. Dylan Walsh, GM Honda Racing. Right, our next guest is getting ready to come and join us, Natalie Fase. But before we do, here's highlights MXGP Race 2 from last weekend in Italy, the MXGP of Europe. Round 11 of the FIA Motocross World Championship, MXGP Race 2. Koldenhoff holds a nice tight line, gives himself plenty of room to work as well. Coming into turn 2, Geiser almost goes down. Geiser already making a move on Prado, looks back across at the young Spaniard, bossing the front of the race early, again looking back to see where the threat is coming from. Tim Geiser. And Prado, has he thrown away a podium? Think he may have done. So Prado out of second place and taking a long time to get going as well. And Geiser throws away the race lead. Cairoli leads, and the Italian fans here absolutely love that.
Oh, it just tips over, and then something happened, just bobbled and threw the leg over, and that was Febvre also. That's twice now Febvre's got caught in moments like that. Cairoli leads. Jorge Prado, wonder what kind of a knock, apart from to the confidence the Spaniard had. And Febvre knew he was there, tried to counter it, but then he ran wide. Tony Cairoli will cross the line. He will take the race win here. Geiser wins the Grand Prix for the first time this year, round 11, 47 points. Cairoli second, Koldenhoff third.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our live studio show here. Our final part on the MXGP TV studio show, round 12 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Spain. And our third and final guest has joined us now, Natalie Fase. She's the team manager, F&H Racing, Kawasaki Racing MX2. Natalie, good to see you. Hair on point, eye makeup on point. Great smile going. Welcome to Mask Life.
Thank you so much.
It's been a nightmare, hasn't it? But let's talk about your riders. You've got a great lineup of riders this year with Mikkel Harp, Rowan van der Moosdijk and Mattis Borromée. How did you decide on Mattis and Mikkel joining the team? Because obviously Rowan was already there, so how did you decide on the other two?
To be honest, we got our eye on Mattis halfway through the season last year because of his never giving up character. That was very impressive, and that fits very good in our team. And Mikkel is very young and talented. So yeah, there's still plenty of room of progressing together. So that's why we decide on them.
And obviously with Rowan, I guess there was a lot of expectation after his podium last year in Turkey as a wildcard rider. But it was a difficult start for him in England and Holland, wasn't it? You know, why was that?
Yeah, actually, 1 week before his first MX2 GP in Turkey, where he was on the podium, he became European champion, so the pressure was off. Yeah, everything went well. He got on the podium over there. He could ride freely, you know. There was no pressure. But then it was Falken's ride, he broke his foot. So that was very disappointing. But I think all of us could see that he vanished away the disappointments in Latvia with all the podiums.
Sure. Well, I was actually going to say that. I mean, he soon made up for it, didn't he? Three podiums in 3 GPs, going second, third overall. I mean, just a huge achievement for just not only him but the whole team, I can imagine.
That week was awesome. Like 3 podiums with Rowan, 2 with Matti. So yeah, Latvia was impressive.
And of course, moving on to Mantova again, and another podium. A difficult trip though.
Yeah, Faenza was a little bit more difficult. Rowan got a pile up after the start. Then another rider hit his bike, so the bike damaged twice too much. So he needed to pull out back from the races, so that podium again in Mantova was very welcome.
Yeah.
Just going back to Latvia here, obviously great, as we just said, trip for him and for the team, but 3 podiums, more than you would have expected, or is that kind of something that you half expected because of the nature of the ground? It's soft, although not deep sand. All the same, he was the only one to make 3 podiums that day.
You know, like this is what we work so hard for every single week with the entire team. So and I know all the 3 riders have this in them. So yeah, the podiums are brilliant.
And obviously Mattis was right there as well behind him.
Yeah, he was chasing.
Yeah. And obviously, as I say, he didn't disappoint as well. He had some impressive rides there. The first 2 rounds particularly that we did, Latvia 1 and Latvia 2. Turns out you guys were almost a little bit greedy with the podiums. You taken all of them. What was it, 5 in those 2 rounds alone?
5 podiums in 1 week. Yes.
Brilliant.
I couldn't. ask for something better. But Matthijs, you know, he improved so much in descent as well during the winter season. So I was so happy for him seeing, get up the podium twice in descent.
Yeah, and obviously we've got a clip of Matthijs coming up as well from those Latvian rounds. It was a shame that he had that crash in Faenza because, you know, he was really riding hard, really performing well, and challenging the likes of Tom Vial.
Battling in front, yes.
And getting close towards the top 3 in the championship. That crash in Faenza, has that kind of dented his confidence a little bit? Because before then he was fast in time practice as well, 1, 2 positions, and then obviously in the races. But it just seems a little bit, you know, not struggling, but it doesn't look not comfortable. But just, like I say, just a confidence thing maybe. At the moment.
You know, nobody of us have seen that crash, but it was a big one, like he said. So, of course, that does something with you. That's no doubt about it. And on the moment, you know, Matthijs is a very strong kid. So, at the moment, he's getting back on track already. So,
how have they looked at this track and sort of what are their first comments? Have they really seen it yet, or are they arriving later today?
No, they we entered the track quite early yesterday, so they did a track walk already with Mark, and the first impressions were actually very, very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, moving on to Mikael. We saw in Natalie, he got his first podium, he got the team's first podium of the year. A great way to start the season, and I can imagine perhaps a little bit of a surprise as well.
Yeah, that was a nice and welcome surprise. Because with all of the 3 we had a pretty good off-season. So yeah, what could I wish for more to enter the season already with a podium with one of the riders? That was brilliant.
And obviously conditions weren't easy in Natalie. Everything was a 1-day format for the first time for us this year. Obviously a sign of things to come, it turns out, with time practice and the races only on Sunday. I was impressed by what he did here. He showed a very cool, calm and a mature head. And, you know, he didn't let anything faze him, even going around TKO. I know TKO wasn't at his best, but the lead Dane, he must have been sort of, wow, yeah, this was fantastic.
Yes, you know, like Mikko is still young, and the last couple of weeks he had so much of bad luck. So I just hope that he will learn from that, and that we can continue the way how we start the season with him, and that he will come back stronger. As soon as possible.
Go on.
No, I was going to say that perhaps he seems to have lost his way a little bit since that podium. I mean, would you say the podium maybe came a little bit too early, or maybe he is just pushing too hard, just trying to make it happen again?
To be honest, I don't think that it came too early, because all of the 3 had a very, very good and strong off-season, so we were ready for it. It was just a lot of bad luck after this, and I hope he will recover as soon as possible and come back stronger than ever.
Yeah, just about another minute to go. I spoke to you yesterday, actually, prior to sort of, you know, coming in here, and Mikkel's not here this weekend.
No, he's not here, no.
He didn't finish one of the races, or he had a crash, or didn't even crash?
No, he didn't even crash. There was a rider who hit another rider, who hit him at the start in the first corner. So then, unfortunately, he dislocated the thumb. And there's a small crack inside, so he's in a cast for around 4 weeks.
So that's the rest of the season?
That's the rest of the season, as we have so many races upcoming for the upcoming 4 weeks. So we focus on trying the new 2021 Kawasaki bike and focus on next season.
Okay. How difficult has it been logistically for a team, you know, to do these triple headers? Obviously, we were in Italy last week, here in Spain, and then we all go north to Belgium. It's a crazy amount of mileage and kilometers, but the team dealing with it well?
Yes, we deal pretty good with it. We try to do the best for all our staff. You know, like everybody has or a wife or a girlfriend at home, and you know, we are ahead, I think, already 30 days, and when with Trentino coming, we are 40 days away of home.
Yeah.
So that's quite a lot, but we deal pretty well with it.
And obviously that's the thing that people don't see. They just turn on the TV and we're there live.
They just see the races.
Yeah. Well, look, Natalie, thanks for joining us. All the best for today, the rest of the season with your other 2 riders, Roman van der Moosdijk and of course Matthijs Borromée. But we are out of time. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back next Saturday in Lommel, so round 13 of the championship, and we hope you can join us then. But join us in 1.5 hours time. We've got all EMX 125 and 250 races today live on MXGP TV. Enjoy the race, enjoy this new track as well. I think we're going to have some cracking racing. See you next time. Bye for now.